Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraye Nashta Prayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyutama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Yam Pravrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam Dvaipayana Virahakatara Juhava Putreti Tanmayatayo Taravo Vinedus Tam Sarva Bhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi. So we're reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 27, verse number 3. Tena Samsara Padavim Avashaha Abhyeti Anivritaha Prasangikaihi Karmadoshaihi Sadasat Mishrayonishu Tena Samsara Padavim Tena Samsara Padavim Avasho Bhyeta Nivritaha Avasho Bhyeta Nivritaha Prasangikai Karmadoshai Prasangikai Karmadoshai Sadasan Mishrayonishu Sadasan Mishrayonishu Tena Samsara Padavi Avasho Bhyeta Nivritaha Prasangikai Karmadoshai Sadasan Mishrayonishu
Tena Samsara Padavim Avasho Bhyeta Nivritaha Prasangikai Karmadoshai Sadasan Mishrayonishu
Tena Samsara Padavim Avasho Bhyeta Nivritaha Prasangikai Karmadoshai Sadasan Mishrayonishu
Mataji.
Tena Samsara Padavim Avasho Bhyeta Nivritaha Prasangikai Karmadoshai Sadasan Mishrayonishu Tena Samsara Padavim Avasho Bhyeta Nivritaha Prasangikaya Kamardoshai
Prasangikaya Karmadoshai
Sadasam Mishrayonishu
Sadasam Mishrayonishu
Tena. By this. Samsara. Of repeated births and deaths. Padavim. The path. Avashaha. Helplessly. Abhyeti. He undergoes. Anivritaha. Discontented. Prasangikaihi. Resulting from action with material resulting from association with material nature. Karmadoshaihi. By faulty actions. Sat. Good. Asat. Bad. Mishra. Mixed. Yonishu. In different species of life. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The conditioned soul therefore transmigrates into different species of life, higher and lower, because of his association with the modes of material nature. Unless he is relieved of material activities, he has to accept this position because of his faulty work. Purport. Here the word karma doshaihi means by faulty actions. This refers to any activity, good or bad, performed in this material world. They are all contaminated. Faulty actions because of material, they are all contaminated faulty actions because of material association. The foolish conditioned soul may think that he is offering charity by opening hospitals for material benefit, or by opening an educational institution for material education. But he does not know that all such work is also faulty, because it will not give him relief from the process of transmigration from one body to another. It is clearly stated here, Sadasan Mishrayonishu. This means that one may take birth in a very high family, or he may take birth in higher planets among the demigods for his so-called pious activities in this material world. But this work is also faulty because it does not give liberation. To take birth in a nice place or a high family does not mean that one avoids undergoing the material tribulations, the pangs of birth, death, old age, and disease. A conditioned soul under the spell of material nature cannot understand that any action he performs for sense gratification is faulty, and that only his activities in devotional service to the Lord can give him release from the reaction of faulty activities. Because he does not cease such faulty activities, he has to change to different bodies, some high and some low. That is called samsara padavim, which means this material world from which there is no release. One who desires material liberation has to turn his activities to devotional service. There is no alternative. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Tena samsara padavim avasho abhyeta nivritaha prasangaikaih karmadoshaihi sanasan mishra yonishu. The conditioned soul therefore transmigrates into different species of life, higher and low, because of his association with the modes of material nature. Unless he is relieved of material activities, he has to accept this position because of his faulty work. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatyadesh Tarine Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare. Namashrishtam Manamapi Sachiputra Matra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Urupurim Madurim Goshtavatim Radhakunda Girivaramaho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi. Anandalila Maya Vigrahai Himam Vadivya Chavi Sundaraya Tasmai Mahaprimarasa Pradaya Chaitanya Chandraya Namo Namaste Antah Pravishya Mama Vachim Imam Prasuptam Sanjivayata Kila Shakti Daraksvadham Nanyam Shahasta Charana Shravana Tvagadim Pranan Namo Bhagavate Purushaya Tubhyam. Hare Krishna. So Kapila Dev continuing describing his teachings to Mother Devahuti. And in the previous verse which we read yesterday, he said, Aham kritya vimudatma karta asmit abhimanyate. Abhimanyate means I have an abhiman. Abhiman literally means false ego. I have this idea. Abhiman means pride. And we're all proud of our activities. Whatever we do, we are proud of it. You know, little child, you know, draws some really ugly something, you know, and then very proudly he says, look, you know, like recently I was in one program and one child drew a picture of myself. I was really wondering, do I really look like this? So, anyway, the idea is that when we do something, whatever we do, whatever little we do, we become very proud, you know, look what I did. This is a very natural psychology of human being. And because of this pride, that I'm the doer, I'm doing this, look what I'm doing, you know, everyone, no matter what he does, you know, he wants that others would admire what he's doing. So as a result of it, Kapila Dev says here, Tena, by this, because of this pride, thinking oneself as a doer, and being completely bewildered without understanding how this working of material nature is, make sure that we are doing what we are doing, and and becoming unnecessarily proud. It's everyone's problem in this material world. So he says, Tena samsara padavim, avasho abhyate anivritaha. Helplessly, avasha, means without my desire. I don't know. It's not a conscious process. Samsara padavim, you get into this cycle of birth and death. Samsara, literally the word samsara means samyak sarati iti samsara. Samsara, it's a very interesting Sanskrit word. The prefix sam means completely, and sarati means it goes. And basically, samsara is this situation where everything is very temporary, and we're trying somehow or other to hold to something, but it goes, it goes, it goes. Samyak sarati. We cannot really hold, we cannot really keep it. Like in this Faust, in Goethe Faust, he says, how it says, this beautiful second, please stop. No way. He's not going to stop. The time flows, everything flows, and nothing is permanent. And that's a big emotional problem for the soul, because the soul is permanent. But nothing is permanent in this material world. And samsara padavim means, tena samsara padavim, by this condition of your false ego, you achieve this condition of samsara. Samsara padavim literally means you achieve this state of samsara. You are in this world which is rotating all the time, coming back and coming back. In the Srimad Bhagavatam there is another phrase which is similar to this, Mukunda Padavim. Mukunda Padavim means the position of Mukunda, the position of liberation, where the Lord of liberation is there. But here we say, Tena samsara padavim avasho. We don't know what will be our next birth. Avasho means helplessly. We are completely blind about these whole things. But one thing we know for sure, anivritaha, we are never satisfied in this position. Never. Never. Like I was in America just recently, and one Russian devotee told me, he is already there for 10 years. He said, this is an amazing culture. He said, in Russia, I was just dissatisfied. But in America, I am dissatisfied, but I hope that I will be satisfied very soon. In Russia, there was no hope. So it's easier to become a devotee in Russia. But in America, I'm living with this hope that very soon So this is a very clever design of this material culture. So this is exactly what Kapila Dev is saying here. Avasho abhyeti anivrita. I undergo this cycle of birth and death, and I'm not satisfied. I cannot be satisfied in this position, in this situation of samsara padavim. And prasangaikaihi karma doshaihi sanasan mishra yonishu. So what happens next? One may say, one may make a suggestion that actually, if you are following the proper protocol, if you are trying to follow all the rules and regulations, and if you're trying to be a sattvic person, you may be quite nicely situated in this samsara nevertheless. I also remember that once I was in South India and I went to an astrologer. And this astrologer was the chief priest of a Shiva temple. And, you know, I didn't know, somebody recommended to me. I probably wouldn't go if I knew, but nevertheless, I ended up with him. And I was really amazed how nicely he's situated. You know, he had beautiful home, beautiful house, and a beautiful place, beautiful garden, you know. And I was waiting for him for quite some time, so I could study what's going on, you know. His beautiful wife brought me on a beautiful plate, some beautiful dishes. And then the whole wall was with different, you know, different prizes and trophies which he had, you know, because, you know, some distinguished things, you know, and then the beautiful child entered the room. And this beautiful child started dancing in a very beautiful way. And all the prizes on the wall were, part of them was the, you know, this is the prizes of this little girl who was dancing so nicely, and, you know. And then he enters, you know, in a beautiful dress, you know, with beautiful Shaiva tilak. So, I mean, there is a way to be relatively happy in this material world. And there is no doubt about it. You know, if you strictly follow the Vedic protocol and you try to do everything, you may consider that it's not such a bad place. You know, yes, I have to die, but that will not happen soon. And maybe it will not happen to me. Who knows if I do that, everything is okay. So, but what Kapila Dev here says, he says a very interesting thing. And actually, this is the point which Prabhupada made in the previous purport, because in previous purport he said that that Arjuna was thinking that he will, a conditioned soul may be very good and act in the mode of goodness, but still he is conditioned under spell of material nature. And here in this purport also, Srila Prabhupada makes the same point, that you may be very sattvic. You may try to do everything nicely. You will be very, very careful in doing everything, and you do only good things to other people. Let's say you understood very clearly this law of karma, and you are doing everything very properly, you are not inflicting any pain, you know. But still, nevertheless, very important point here which Kapila Dev makes, prasangaikaihi karma doshaihi. Because of yours, not because, but by, it's an instrumental case in Sanskrit. By this intimate association, prasanga means not just association, but very close association. Because when we think we are actor, that we are the doer, we are doing these activities, then naturally we have this very concentrated consciousness that I am doing this. Karma dosha. We are associating with karma, which always has some dosha in it. We may try to do everything very properly, but there will be some mistakes. As Prabhupada, he translates this by faulty actions. No matter how careful we are, no matter how much we try to do everything properly, because karma by its very nature, as Prabhupada says, karma by its very nature is faulty. You know, you get into the cycle of karma because of your false ego. That's the cause. The cause of karma is false ego. You know, we may act in this world. This is beautifully explained by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. He says that, you know, you may act in this world, and these actions will not create any consequences, and they will not create any reactions. If you don't have this ahankrita bhav. You know, we may act in this material world, there is no problem, but because of ahankrita bhav, because we are adding to the actions, this bhav, this mood, this understanding I am doing, then it creates reactions. And because the activity by its very nature is faulty, the reactions is inevitably faulty also. Yes, you may be predominantly doing some good actions. And then, as Prabhupada explains, you may be going to some higher planet, or you may take very nice birth as this Shaiva priest in South India, you know, very nicely situated in this material world. But, you know, the problem is that inevitably you will make a mistake. Karma dosha means that, you know, you will do something wrong, and the way of this material world is such that, you know, you'll do little wrong, and this little wrong will be exaggerated to out of proportion. You will do some little mistake, you know, you will look at somebody, you may not even do any mistake. But still somebody will curse you because he will think that you did a mistake. You looked at somebody at the wrong moment. Just because he was in the wrong mood or she was in the wrong mood. And because you looked at him or her, you know, she would become completely indignant and, you know, and start cursing you. Who do you think you are to look at me? You know, you don't have to do anything in this material world to commit some mistake or to because this is the nature of this world. That's a very hopeless nature of this world. You know, there is a nice story in this regard about Emperor Akbar. We all know that Emperor Akbar, Mughal emperor, Muslim emperor, still was very, very favorable to Hindu culture, and he was really doing a lot of things, and he was maintaining so many pandits. All the pandits in his court were Hindus, and he really admired Hindu culture. And he was very attracted to Benares. No, sorry, not to Benares, to Allahabad. What was the name of Allahabad before? Prayag, yeah. He was really attracted to this place. So he decided to build a beautiful fort in this place to make sure that this sacred place of Hindus is nicely protected. So he built, it's still there, I mean, huge fort just on the place of confluence of Ganga and Yamuna and Saraswati from before. And and at that very place, there is this Akshayavat, the eternal banyan tree. Still in India, there are some eternal banyan tree which don't die because something really sacred took place under them. Like there is this Akshayavat under which Maharaja Parikshit was listening Srimad Bhagavatam. It's still there. You know, it's thousands of years will pass. No, this tree will be there because it has become eternal due to this association with spiritual matters. So this Akshayavat is a very sacred place there. And he was very careful to not to do anything to this Akshayavata. You know, he built this whole fort around this Akshayavata. But then, you know, still there's something during the construction, it's very difficult not to hurt anything. So some mistakes was there. And actually, at that point, somebody asked the local pandits who this Emperor Akbar was in his previous life. Why is he behaving not in a typical Muslim way towards Hindu culture? Why is he so respectful and he's following the customs and this and that? And you know, one great pandit was there, great yogi. He went into his samadhi and his trance, and then he said, oh yeah, his name was in previous life, his name was Mukunda Brahmachari. And he was sitting in this very place, in Prayag. That was his place of meditation. And he was doing everything properly. He was very careful. He was really, you know, he was a brahmachari, Naistik brahmachari, this and that. What happened then, you know, he was given, somebody brought him a cup of milk. And he drank this cup of milk, and when he drank this cup of milk, he realized that there was in this milk, there was a hair of a cow. And hair in itself is not a very, you know, it's considered to be very contaminated thing, you know, but hair of a cow, you know, it's, you know, to drink a hair of a cow, for him, it was like as if he ate the cow, you know, because he drank this hair of a cow, and he became so, I mean, he became so upset, he couldn't find, he lost his sleep, and he was, you know, he didn't know what to do, and ultimately he drowned himself in the confluence of Ganga and Yamuna. And here he is, Mukunda Brahmachari, became Emperor Akbar because of his pious activities or whatever he did. You know, he got this position, very high position in the society, but he lost his, he became a mlecha, he became Yavana, he became meat eater. You know, this is how karma works. Karma is not a linear thing. Karma is a very dangerous thing. You do something little, you don't even notice it. But because the system is as such that, you know, this little thing may have a very significant effect in the whole system, you know, then the reaction to this little thing which you did will be also huge. And vice versa, you do something good, little good, you know, and the reaction may be also tremendously good, huge. But the point which Prabhupada makes and which Kapila Dev makes, karma dosha. Every karma has some fault. And because it has some fault, it's hopeless. You cannot really, you know, I wish well to this astrologer, Shaiva astrologer, but he may do some mistake inadvertently, without any desire to do mistake or whatever. This material world is a very dangerous place. We have to be very clear about it, very clear about it. Therefore it's called samsara. Therefore it's called, now you are in this position. Now you think, I'm nicely situated. And sometimes as a devotee we think, you know, it's not so bad. You know. Oh, yeah, Krishna says, next lifetime I will also become a devotee, no problem. Next, I don't have to be in a hurry. You know, no, not really. There is no guarantee in this material world. The only guarantee in this material world is birth, death, old age and disease. This is guaranteed, no problem. if you don't get this, you can come and claim, I didn't get this, but, but you will get it. There is no other guarantee. Anything else is not guaranteed. Your position is not guaranteed. Your position as a devotee is not guaranteed. You may still, because of this association, because you are intimately connected with all these, things, you will not, and there's no guarantee, and therefore Kapila Dev says, Sat, Asat, Mishra Yonishu. You will get birth in Sat Yonishu, in some good wombs. You will be born in a good position as somebody in a good place. And Asan, sometimes you are born in a very bad place, and sometimes you are born in Mishra condition, something is good, something is bad. More often it's Mishra position, And like sometimes in India, people think that, to be born in America is a very advantageous birth. There was one brahmachari who wanted to be brahmachari in the temple, in ISKCON temple, and and he was serving there nicely. And then somebody asked him, but not so nicely maybe. And so the temple commander said, well, why do you want to be brahmachari in this temple? He said, because here all these Western people are coming and I'm always meditating on them. So next lifetime I will be born in the Western country. That's why I want to be here. But what Kapila Dev is saying, Sana San Mishra Yonishu, and the only guarantee which you have here is that you will be born. Sometimes in a good position, sometimes in a not so good position, sometimes in a Mishra position. Sometimes you may be born as a mosquito. If you were very fond of sucking blood of other people, you will be given this opportunity. Anyway, I will not joke about this. But some people has this inclination to suck blood of others. Not literally, but and therefore Srila Prabhupada says that the only real solution to all these problems is actually he's going a little ahead. Kapila Dev will say this in the verse number 5. In the verse number 5 he will say very clearly, Bhakti yogina tivrina viraktya cha nayet vasham. If you want to really be in control, if you really want to be born in, if you really want to guarantee your next life, then you have to try to control your mind, and you should do this Bhakti Yogina Tivrina, by this intense Bhakti Yoga. And that's very important point, which Prabhupada doesn't make here, but Kapila Dev is emphatic about this. He doesn't say Bhakti Yogina, he says Bhakti Yogina Tivrina. And Tivra means to be very serious. Tivra means to be concentrated. Tivra means to understand that this is the means, this is the only means of salvation. Tivra means that, I'm really serious. In the place where I stay most of the time, in near Govardhan, it's close to Govinda Kunda, and in Govinda Kunda, it's also a famous place because Siddha Mahatma was living there. His name was Manohar Das Babaji. Not too long back, in the beginning of 20th century, he was living there. And he was chanting 5 to 6 lakhs of Harinam every day. 5 to 6 lakhs. It means 64 rounds multiplied by 5 or 6 times. He was practically all the time chanting. And actually this place of his bhajan was given to him by Srimati Radharani herself. He was doing bhajan in some other place, and she appeared to him and she said to him, you please go to Govinda Kund, and on the bank of Govinda Kund you will achieve perfection. So he was considered a Siddha Mahatma. But why he was engaged in such intense devotional service? Because at one point of his bhajan, he could remember 5 or 6 births of his. He remembered very clearly all these births, and he was a devotee in each and every of these births. He was doing bhajan in each and every of these births. But every time he would commit some mistake. Every time he was not coming, to the point of perfection. So when he realized this, when Krishna revealed to him this, he said, okay, this lifetime I have to be serious. This lifetime I have to be really serious about it. So he didn't want this samsara padavim. He didn't want to go back in this condition. So again, of course, as devotees were saved, but in one sense, but still, we should not be too much counting on this. We should try to achieve perfection in this lifetime. Srila Prabhupada a couple of times said, don't become next lifetime Baba. Become Baba this lifetime means get serious, please. Please get serious. Bhakti yogena tivrena. If you want this, we really have to understand it's a serious business. Yes, we always think, not now. Yes, I will become serious devotee, but not right now. I still need some time to, to play a little bit. Not today. Today, it's okay, but tomorrow for sure. And we all know that tomorrow never comes because it's always tomorrow. So this is important thing to understand how dangerous this place. Padam padam yatvi padam natesham. This is a very dangerous place where little mistake you commit. So many great kings were there who committed little mistake here, little mistake there. Or to speak about us, we're all prone to commit mistake, to be inattentive, Brahma pramada, vipralipsa, karanapatava, our imperfect senses, our tendency to cheat others. We're always cheating. We're always we're cheating. And that's why being in this place is very dangerous situation. Therefore, this lifetime we have to be serious. We're lucky. Srila Prabhupada came. Srila Prabhupada gave us this path. Srila Prabhupada gave us these books. Srila Prabhupada gave us these temples. So many facilities which he gave. So we should become very serious. And as Kapila Dev says, Ataeva Shanai Chittam in verse number 5. Gradually, Shanai. Shanai means in a slow way. Don't be frantic. Don't be crazy. Prasaktam asatam pathi. You should gradually try to get rid of this attachment to this path of enjoyment. This is asatam pathi. This is the path which is asatam. It's asat. It's the path to nowhere. Bhakti yogena tivrena viraktya. cha nayet vasham. By controlling your mind and by some little detachment, you try to get rid of this problem. And of course, this evening we will study the verse number 4, which is very interesting and very important. And there is also a very interesting practical implication of the verse number 4, which we will talk tonight. So, thank you very much, Hare Krishna. Yes.
Sometimes devotees say that I'm going back to Godhead in this lifetime. You know, I've had enough of this world, I don't want to come back. And then sometimes one wonders, do they really understand what it takes to go back to Godhead? Sometimes you think it's like a casual comment.
Yeah, Srila Prabhupada was very liberal, and therefore he very liberally, promised, yes, do this, to enthuse us, to give us impetus to do it. But he was definitely hoping that we have to be serious at the end of the day. We have to be very serious, and that's an important point. It's about time to become serious, because we never know when we will die. We think, I will become serious before my death. But it's now, because you don't know when you will die. It's about time. So, yeah.
Like Christians, they say, like, I'm saved, I'm going back.
Yeah. I'm saved, yeah. I don't have to do anything. I'm already saved. So we can easily become Hare Krishna Christians.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. That's why I was just in America, and Brahmatirtha Prabhu, Prabhupada's disciple, he says, American Jewish Hare Krishnas, they celebrate Christmas very nicely. So there is a tendency to become something like Christian. Yeah.
По вчерашней лекции вы говорили о стихе 3.27, что это только начало. Кришна как бы сказал не все, а где он говорит все и что. И еще такой момент, что мы как бы не деятели, но мы же выбираем то ли renounce, то ли enjoy. То есть мы выбираем это, то значит мы деятели.
Yeah, I mentioned yesterday that in the verse Ahankara Vimudatma Kartaha Mati Manyate, Krishna said only half truths. He said it according to the time, place, and circumstances. Where did he say something else? He did say it in many places, in particular in the 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. That the soul has agency. The soul is also acting. Yes. Most of the things which are going on in this material world is going on because of the arrangement of material nature, and the soul is only, manifesting desires. But, if the soul, and some people think that, everything is done by God. Like yesterday also there was this Indian young man, and he said, the soul is done by Vishnu. Vishnu is doing this, so, what's the problem? I am a part of Vishnu. Vishnu is doing this. So some people, they say, that, yes, everything is done by God. No. We have free will, and this free will is explained in 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna again says that we have the desire to associate with Karanam Guna Sangasya, that the reason of my continuing birth and death in this material world is attachment to these gunas. And because we as a soul have this capacity to desire, so this capacity of desire means that we are acting also. So, and therefore, in the 18th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna explains 5 factors of activity, and one of this is soul. So, the agency is there in the soul. The impersonalists, they say that there is no agency in the soul. The soul, the pure soul, does not act. No, it's not correct. Because the soul has consciousness. Consciousness means desire. Desire means activity. So we are responsible for what we are doing. Not only Krishna is responsible for everything. So the choice is ours.
Кришна, можно на русском, да? Вы много говорите о том, что преданное должно быть серьезное на своем пути. И это на самом деле так, и мы можем видеть, что в жизни преданного есть такое устремление, хочется действительно практиковать, но бывают такие периоды, когда или что-то не получается, или пропадает совсем энтузиазм что-то делать. И вот у меня вопрос, как понять вот в этой ситуации, или я что-то сделала не так, может быть, я оскорбляла кого-то, или еще что-то. Или это же может быть не мой какой-то уровень, да, вот такое понятие, не мой уровень. Не всегда есть возможность задать вопрос духовному учителю и спросить, ну вот я с этим не могу как-то справиться, как мне быть. И вот я бы хотела, чтобы вы как-то прояснили, что делать в ситуации, когда или теряется энтузиазм, теряется желание, и как из этого выйти. Вот.
So the question is that I was told that we should be serious, and as devotees we want to be serious and to practice nicely, but sometimes due to some circumstances or emotional condition, it's very difficult to practice seriously. It's just there's no energy, there is no enthusiasm, and the question is how should we recognize the cause of such condition, and how to get rid of this condition, what to do if this condition comes when we feel that we cannot really do it, seriously. So as far as the cause of this condition, there is a good likelihood that we did something wrong to a devotee. We committed some offense, and as a result of this, we lost enthusiasm. That's a possibility. Another possibility is, of course, it's always a result of some wrong action on our behalf. It may be completely wrong action when we offended somebody. It may be just some faulty activities, as Srila Prabhupada says here. Faulty activity means we are overstressing ourselves. We are, again, having this ahankar, pride, this abhiman, I am the doer, I will show, I am the best devotee. Oftentimes it's also like this. I will show everyone how good I am. I am the best, because this is what ahankar is all about. Like one devotee told me that first he wanted to be the best sportsman. It didn't work. And then he decided to be the best military man. It didn't work. And then he said, now I'm, the best devotee, so it works. But it's the same sort of mentality, ahankar. I'm the doer. So we may commit some offense, or we may just overstress ourselves. Like we hear that Manohar Das Babaji, he chanted 5 lakhs a day, and we think, I will also chant 5 lakhs a day. You please first become Manohar Das Babaji, then 5 lakhs a day. So we may do some faulty activities because this is the nature of ahankara. Ahankara always pushes you in the wrong direction. It's the impetus which pushes you, and we do it, in devotional service also. So and because of this, because we are overdoing something, going to an extreme, we find ourselves in this difficult emotional condition. So in this difficult emotional condition, there are 2 things which we should do. At least 2 things which we should do. First is find the association of good, loving devotees who still have enthusiasm and who can care about us, and by associating closely with them, gradually we will come over. It's very important to, at this moment of time, to be completely open, because when we are in this weak condition, sometimes the tendency is that I will close down, nobody should see that I'm weak. Especially it's true for those people who were in some position and they used to be very strong, and all of a sudden they find themselves very weak. It's very painful for them. Again, ahankara, the false ego, is the hindrance and the obstacle to be open. So we have to be very open, but to the right people, to those people who can lovingly accept our vulnerability and try to help us in this regard. So that's one thing. And another thing, with little strength which still remains, we should try to continue devotional service with whatever, even if there is no enthusiasm still, we should just go on. With little bit, whatever is there, and Krishna will appreciate it. Krishna doesn't expect that you always will be, if you have this condition, just continue with whatever strengths you have. And this means being serious in this condition. You can do very little in this situation, but whatever little you can do, please do.
Thank you, Srila. Thank you so much for your class. I have one technical question regarding karma. If you are married, how important is perform vivaha yagya before you consume child?
It's a very beautiful concept of vivaha, and it answers to the question. The root vah means to carry. Literally like vahana. Vahana means the carrier, you are driving vehicle. So vivaha yagya means you promise to carry your wife on your shoulders. Vivaha means therefore it's vivaha, visheshvaha. You're carrying your wife, not literally on your shoulders, but basically you're taking responsibility. Vivaha yagya means you're taking a vow. No matter what, no matter how difficult it is, and difficulties will be there, you will be, fulfilling your responsibility towards this particular woman and children especially. So, if you didn't do formally vivaha, at least in your mind you should do vivaha yagya. You should give this vow. no matter what, no matter how difficult it will be, then you can conceive the child. Before that, if you're still, if you are, this modern Vivaha Yagi, this Vivaha Yagi, and then divorce Yagi. It's just another Yagi which just naturally follows Vivaha Yagi. In Sanskrit, there is no even word for divorce. It's just this concept doesn't exist in Vedic culture. Now, of course, in India they start doing divorce, but they use Muslim word talak, for divorce. But in Sanskrit there is no such word. So if you do this vivaha, at least in your mind, if you are determined, then no problem. Yes.
Maharaj, thank you again for the very nice series of classes. I just wanted to ask about the association of devotees, because you've been explaining how important it is that we associate. But from the other side, because sometimes it happens that even in communities, the association sometimes goes a little askew. And what are the important aspects of a devotee society, so that we can all be good association for everybody else?
It's a big question, and this is the subject of my meditation for the last several months. Because Prabhupada said that, half of his work is not done because he didn't create Varnashama society. And basically Varnashama means healthy society. And even though we have the idea of Varnashama living in the countryside and, doing some agriculture and self-sufficient farms, for most of the devotees it's very difficult to fulfill this ideal at this time and age. Most of the devotees will live in the cities. So in my humble opinion, Varnashama, some sort of Varnashama or healthy societies is possible in any situation. It doesn't matter where. We have to be conscious about this, that when we are preaching, we have to really be concentrated on creating this good community, where this certain ethic is followed by everyone. Certain ethos is established in this society. So if we are very clear what are these rules, as you asked, what are the principles of this healthy society, then we establish it. And there are several principles which I, kind of realized by reading Prabhupada's books and observing what is still going on in India. One principle very important for community to be healthy is the culture of respect. We may not love each other, we may have differences of opinion, we may have some even, emotional problems with each other, but the respect is something which should not be questioned in any situation. Here is a devotee, he may be senior, he may be junior, this respect is a minimum condition for people to associate with each other. If there is no respect, it is said actually I think in Chanakya Niti, Chanakya says, you should immediately leave the place where you are not respected. If you don't feel that there is a respect, and respect basically means recognition that you are a person, you're you have your, personality, your individual, and we respect you with all your maybe little problems or whatever, but we respect your freedom, we respect your position. So this culture, which is unfortunately being quickly, removed from the minds of people, especially due to this social media. The association of the ethic in the social media is just, it's disgusting. It's really disgusting. And people, they think that this is normal. That becomes more or less an established norm in a society. So this is the very minimum condition which should be established, that we respect each other, yes. And if you cannot closely associate, no problem. Be in a distance, but still, here's a rare soul, here's a devotee, here's somebody in a human form of life. This is enough reason to be respected. Then, of course, it's not that easy, because Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he says, please give me the power, he's praying to Gurudev, please give me the power to respect everyone according to his position. Please give me, so it's not easy. He's praying to Gurudev, give me the power to understand, to recognize the position of a person and to appropriately relate to him. To really, because the tendency, again, because of the envy, what is the main disease of any society is this envy. When the envy becomes the norm, more or less, and there are so many different manifestations of envy, all these rumors and gossip and all kinds of stuff, So the remedy for this problem of envy is respect. But respect according to position, if according to the status of a person, and it takes time and it takes some endeavor, some effort to establish it. So that's something. Then you can expect close relationship, because when people feel secure, when you are in a society, when you feel that others respecting you and recognizing your position. Respect should not be exaggerated, because it's also an offense. If you respect somebody too much, it's not good either, Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, jata jata, means according to the proper position of a person. Then in the society where everyone feels respected, then there is a facility for close association. You can open your heart because you're secure, you are not threatened. If you feel that there is no respect, then and you feel that you open your heart, and then somebody will take advantage of it and will misuse it and will put it against you. And so that's one thing. Another thing is, I could go on and on and on for a long time. I'm not going to do this, but another very important element of it is, of course, Krishna should be in the center. That's the beginning. That's the starting point. That we all cooperating for the common center. Krishna is there in the center, and we are doing different services together. Then it gives the the understanding what is my contribution, and I value contributions of others. That's very important. I don't try to devalue the contributions of others. My contribution is, of course, by default is the most important. That's clear. But still, I recognize that other people, they have their valuable services which they do. So, but another feature, in my opinion, very important. We have not everyone in the society will be, will follow Brahminical ideal. People have different natures, they should be what they are, but everyone should respect or should value the Brahminical values. If somebody manifests the Brahminical qualities, these qualities should be respected, because that's the, that's why Prabhupada said Varnashrama culture, the synonym for Varnashrama culture is Brahminical culture. Why it is Brahminical? It's not that because everyone is Brahminical. There will be people of different natures, there is no problem, but everyone respects, and Brahmans means, he is detached, he is humble, he is learned. I know, unfortunately, in some ISKCON, communities, people just don't respect this because of the nature, again, the nature of the people, nature of society, the society. Everyone respects rich people. That's no problem. That's going without question. That's for sure. If somebody is rich, they will respect him. But again, it's wrong. We should value these Brahminical values, because that's also a foundation that Brahmanas are or Brahminical culture. This is a very foundation of the proper society. And, I will not say anything else, but I think it's enough. I said enough to make it sound very difficult.
Maharaj, just one other thing from that is just, it's important then for the devotees themselves to know what position they are in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's important. But they will be who they are if any position in the society is respected. That's again very important. If you say Shudra, who will want to be a Shudra in a society where where this is the attitude towards Shudras. But if you say, oh, he's a very nice Shudra, he's a very, really wonderful Shudra, he's doing his duty in a beautiful way, then if this is respected, and that's a problem in ISKCON, we say Shudra, Shudra. In Sri Vaishnava Sampradaya, they say, birth of a Shudra is the most advantageous birth, because in South, in this, even in Tamil language, Shudras are called Das. So Shudras are servants, and because and they say it's the best birth ever to become to be born as a Shudra, because you're naturally humble and because you naturally have this service attitude, so it's very easy for you to become Vaishnava. Whereas it's very difficult for Kshatriya or Vaishya or Brahmana to become a Vaishnava, because they're naturally proud. So if we respect everyone according to his position and give respect to any position, then this will be established.
Говорили в лекции, что практически любая деятельность ошибочна.
Faulty, yeah.
Если все-таки я стараюсь, прилагаю максимальные усилия действовать по наставлениям, и как тогда определить, если нет возможности сверяться, естественно, каждый момент, как определить, это все-таки все ошибочно или куда-то двигаться верно? Говорили, что если напряжение там на джапе и так далее, то это аханкара повторяет и живет, и как чтобы так не было всю жизнь аханкара.
So the question is, it is said here, karma dosha, that every activity is faulty, as Srila Prabhupada says. But if we try to follow the instructions of we try to follow the instructions of superior spiritual master and everything, but still we cannot really do it on a daily basis, asking him whether we're right or wrong. So how to avoid these inevitable mistakes which we commit when we do some activities in this world? It's basically, again, mistakes will be there. Mistakes is not a problem. The problem is that when we make a philosophy out of our mistakes, that's a problem. When we elevate the mistakes to the level of philosophy, when we try to justify this. If we are sincere and we commit some mistake, and it will be very clear, somebody will point it out, or we will realize it, we will somehow or other make up for this mistake, we will improve ourselves, we will learn from this mistake. That's not a problem. If we are humble and we commit mistakes, mistakes are not a problem. If we are proud and we commit mistakes, then mistakes become a problem. Because when we are proud and we commit mistakes, and because this is me and I'm right, so I'll try to explain to everyone and to myself that this was not a mistake. I was just, I couldn't act otherwise. That's the only way I could act in these circumstances. You try to justify it. So mistakes is not a problem. If we sincerely trying to become devotees and we kind of put aside our ego and we try to follow, as yesterday Madhava Krishna told me that, this phrase, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he explains what is bhakti, and he says, bhakti is anugatya dharma. It's just two words, and he encapsulated in these two words the very meaning of bhakti. Anugatya dharma means the nature of a follower. If we by nature become followers, if we try to follow, not just be independent doer or actor, then it's not a problem. No, not necessarily. The question is, does it mean that if somebody is not happy with us, then we commit some mistake? No, not necessarily. People may be unhappy because just they're by nature unhappy. It's not a problem. So what's the big deal? Anyway, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Holiness, Bhakti Vijnana Goswami.